So just very quickly about Mindset Technology. Mindset Technology delivers high-speed wireless backbones and Wi-Fi for underground mines to do any kind of automation and any kind of connection of cameras or third-party devices you have. Over the last few years, we have embarked on developing new devices, and you all probably wonder about what the title is. Albert Einstein doesn't work underground. Well, I worked for a long time underground, and I'm not Albert Einstein, but he said a very interesting thing, that if I can click this forwards, that's what he said: any intelligent fool can make things bigger and more complex. It takes a touch of genius and a lot of courage to move in the opposite direction. And that's exactly what we embarked to do, to make things simpler. What we found is extremely difficult to maintain networks underground and to connect the devices you want. So this is what I used to deal with. Someone comes to me and he says, well, you know, we got this sump pump here, and we really want to know what the water level is in that sump pump. Can you monitor this? Sure, I can. In a shop floor, it would be really easy. But in this case, what would actually happen is, first thing you need is power to run this thing. Well, where are you looking? And power is 400 metre down that roadway. It's nowhere near. Yeah, you got 1,000 volt for your pump, but not 240. Next thing you look at is like, well, got the power here. Now I need some sort of power supply. So you buy a box, stick a power supply in, and you go, well, really, when the power's done, I also want to know, you know, how high that water is, particularly then I want to know it. So I need a UPS. So you buy a UPS, you stick that in a box. Then you finally go to the Allen Bradleys or the Siemens or whatever, you buy a PLC, a sensor to measure, an ultrasonic sensor to measure the water depths, and a current clamp to work out what the pump draws at the moment. All good. Then you go, well, got to get the data to the surface. No data connection. It's back there where the 240 volt were. So here I run another 400 metre of optic fibre in there. Then I work out the PLC, hang on, I only got copper Ethernet, so I need to convert this. So you see where the story goes. Most of the time, halfway down that track, you're giving up. And someone will say, you know what, send a bloke there twice a shift, having a look at what the water height is in that oil. That's normally what it ends up. So we realised this, and you don't have that just on pumps, right? You have that on the typical secondary fans, all sorts of things. We got people running back and forward, switching on fans, all this kind of stuff. This is crazy. Digital time, really? I mean, you can walk past a shop door out there and the shop door opens up automatically. When we come to a vent door, we pull on some sort of string. You've got to be kidding, aren't you? You know, that's the reality of automation. Yes, we have these centres of automation, you know, where you have full automation, but as soon as you go away from that, it all looks very different. So Mindsight has embarked to build a new network switch, and this network switch is gigabit high-speed network switch, which you can easily deploy. It is ruggedized, quick release on this thing. It's just very, very simple. And what we did is we put an automation module in it. This is not a wild blown PLC where you've got to write 50 lines of letter code to do a basic thing. What this is, you can buy off us, you come to us and you say, I want to start my fan remotely. And we go, here's a fan starter kit. Bang, stick it in, plug it in, 3 cables. You go into a very basic menu, electrician level, not automation specialist level. You go, you click, you pick your sensor. The stuff gets automatically transferred to our ICA on the surface. You can pick the people you want to notify, or which you want to make able to switch this fan on and off, or measure the pump, or whatever it is you came from a 6-week 3 guys problem of trying to build this thing to a system which you literally can implement in a half an hour. So this is what it is, basically. It is a high-speed fiber connected switch which also gives you copper gigabit connectivity, as well as you can attach a modular Wi-Fi unit on it. It's a Wi-Fi unit, high-speed Wi-Fi unit, so if you want to tram your vehicles remotely or whatever you may want to do it, you can do it. So now we come to the tricky part of the animation. So I just want to show you, this switch actually is modular. So as you've seen before on the slide before, it had a Wi-Fi unit attached, but the Wi-Fi unit is completely separate off it. So you can do that. It doesn't work. So you can stick the Wi-Fi unit on, and the bottom modules, you can, it normally plays pretty smooth. You can remove these bottom modules, and you now put your control module in, and that control module has 2 4 20 milliamp loops, standard automation technology. It's got two 2 amp relays in. It's got 2 digital and 2 analog ports out, and they're all easy to configure. So the other module you can put in, if you haven't got enough Ethernet, the switch comes with 3 Ethernet ports, which are gigabit Ethernet ports, and they're PoE plus. You can add an additional PoE module in there, which gives you 3 more PoE ports. So you can have a total of up to 7 PoE ports on this. Now, one thing we also realized is that, well, you go there, you configure all this switch, and then the guy whoever configured it moved away. Now, this switch breaks, someone runs it off the wall. What do you do next? How long will it take you at 3 o'clock in the morning to recover that switch? So what we've done is we put in a very smart little key. Hopefully it comes up. You want to go to next? So in there is a little data key, and that data key holds the entire configuration of that switch, including all your automation modules, all your stuff you have on there in there. So you take that switch, and it's a quick release of that switch. You take it off the wall, you take your new one, and it can be the electrician. He puts it on, he plugs the cable back in, he sticks that key back in, and surprise, surprise, it is exactly the same switch. There is no software configuration needed. No one needs to do anything. And this is basically what we set out to do. We set out to make networks, underground and automation, useful in a means that most of the time the things we've seen, people are very enthusiastic in deploying these things, but then after a while you come there, it's broken down, no one can fix it. The guy who built this thing has left the mine, and all is over. So that's basically what we about. So we're going to add, I think, a very essential part to it. And there's sort of all these things like, you pull on a cord, a vent door opens. You want to know the current. The electrician wants to know a current on a particular cable. You put it on, and you can read the current. And it's simple. It's very, very simple for use. Thank you.